study as a sort of celebration of the first poll on the community tab that was enabled through my first 1,000 subscriptions, and thank you very much to everyone who subscribed. I am going to show the results of the poll in this video. The poll was a Pokemon poll. It was between Chespin, Oshawott, and Bulbasaur. Though Chespin is really cute and has some cool moves, and Ash had a Chespin in several series. And as Oshawott, or although Oshawott has some really neat evolves and is pretty cute, Bulbasaur won by quite a landslide. So what I'm going to do for you today is make some nice relaxing sounds, doing some watercolor of Bulbasaur and Ivysaur and a Mega Venusaur, and just a little bit of talking to put you in a nice relaxed state of mind. Now I have to tell you that this is the second time I've done this video now, so hopefully this one works. The first one was a bit of a fail, and I didn't know until I had painted all of the Pokemon. But something happened with the cables on the mic, and during the entire second half of the video, there was this squeaky sound as if there was this baby mouse sitting there blowing raspberries every time I spoke. And I tried so hard to get rid of that sound, and I just couldn't. And it's a shame because it was a nice video, or would have been, except for the mouse raspberries. So I'm doing it again just for you. And what I'm going to do is get some beautiful blues and greens on this watercolor and do most of the initial washes, which are a lot of the base colors that I usually do before I then let it dry for about 24 hours and go and paint the rest of the details by putting layers on. It's called glazing. So instead of, because I've run out of time because of the mouse raspberries, I'm just going to be doing the initial washes today. But it should be very relaxing, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. So our cute, very cute Bulbasaur. I'm going to be using a pencil, which I've used to sort of trace out the Pokemon, all my wooden and hairbrushes, of course the water, and my portable watercolor paints that I love so much. Now we'll start with Bulbasaur, the first Pokemon from the Kanto region, and he is a grass type Pokemon, Generation 1, so he's a basic Pokemon. And because I like to work with wet on wet, I'm using a cotton pulp hot pressed paper. You can see I wasn't great with the eyes there, but that's alright because I can clean it up later. What I want is to get a very pretty bluey green wash for the baby Bulbasaur. Ash had a Bulbasaur, as did May in several of the series. See, I'm going to try and use. Got to remix my colors now. I really wanted to give you a nice video, and so I'm really sorry about the mouse raspberries. But hopefully this one will turn out okay, and you'll have a nice, enjoyable, relax. Alright, so I'm going to paint this greeny blue. I love blues, such a beautiful color, and let the water really do its work on the page. I really like painting with watercolor for that reason, and also because it's so relaxing. And with watercolor, as with probably any paint, you can do whatever you want. You can't really do anything wrong. And you know, Mr. Ross always says there are happy accidents. I think when you're painting, you just do whatever you want, and it's all exactly what you meant to do, isn't it? It turns out the way it turns out, and you can always fix it, or do something different, or start over. Nobody's telling you what to do. So there's our wash there. Oh, almost put the wrong color there. And because it's still nice and wet, I can drop in some color for the spots and maybe a little for the shading. Let's see, I'll make a little bit of a darker blue for the shade and drop that in. There'll be a shade there. There we go. Just a little bit, and a little bit of shade there. It's all going to be very, very abstract, not a lot of detail here, because this is the initial wash that I love to do. And sometimes I actually leave it like that without doing the details. If you've watched my painting of the kingfisher, you'll notice how I kind of, it was a speed wash, that one. I didn't really wait 24 hours or long enough to dry it completely, so it was a little bit different. I'm going to just sort of drop this darker blue, this darker gray. I think I want a little bit more green in that, sort of a dull green there for the spots, but I'm just going to drop it in. I don't want it to pick that up a bit. That's good. Just drop a little bit in. It's going to bleed a little bit because of the wet, which will be nice. Drop. Just gives us a little dark splotches there, and it gives me a nice color on the palette to do later. And I think I'm going to tidy up that back leg a little bit because I lost a little bit of the wet there. There we go. And I can pick some of that up with a dry brush for a little bit more detail. So we have the wash on Bulbasaur. deposits underneath. There we go. And there he is. First wash. And I'm going to drop a little bit more on that top spot. Splotchy splotch. There. It's looking quite good. So Bulbasaur has friends, Charmander and Squirtle, the starting Pokemon of the Kanto region, to do his claws. I'm going to just outline them. I'm going to drop on the brush there because I don't want to make them appear contrived. And then put a little tiny bit of color, but not much. There his claws. Now for his eyes, they're a little bit red, but kind of a baby red, something a bit brighter than the normal red. And I'm not going to do wet on wet for his eyes. Let's see, got to fix that there. There. Little baby, bright red baby eyes. Probably could have been a little bit more fire engine red, but this is quite nice. Little baby eye. And I'll put the final shading on later. See, he hasn't got his teeth yet either. Now I'm going to do the green of the bulb. And that's going to be kind of a leafy green. I think I need another line here to make sure. Good. Go. Nice round bulby shape. Good. So come in and do the details after. Put the wash on after it dries a bit. Might dry a little bit enough today to do them. After we do Ivysaur and Venusaur. You can hear an airplane outside. They've been flying all day because it's such a beautiful day to fly. Perfect weather for flying. Perfect weather in No Manasat. There's our baby Bulbasaur. I might just try a little dropping some darker green just along there. initial wash on baby Bulbasaur. Still can't get those top spots. Let's try and put a little bit more color up there. There we are. There. And a little bit more down here. And I think I'm running out of that color to mix some more. There, a little bit there. Oh, sometimes I get too much. That's it. Okay. Just a little bit, I think. A hint. Color there. There we are. It's not as greeny, but still pretty good. Alright. Let's move to Venusaur. So as you can see, Venusaur's bulb has opened, revealing a bud or flower. Venusaur, because of this flower and the weight of this flower on his back, can't stand on his hind legs, nor can he run very fast. But of course he has some good attacks. And he likes to live in the plains region so that his flower can get lots of sun. Although I still haven't found one in... Oh, that's wrong. I did find a Bulbasaur, but not an Ivysaur in Pokemon Snap. The Bulbasaur is very shy, and I found him in the forest. But there's some places I haven't unlocked yet, and that's probably where the Ivysaur will be. So I'm going to use a nice blue, very bluey blue for Ivysaur. That's a very bluey blue, look at that. So I paint the edge and just let the water do its work on the paper, which is a very nice effect. It's very pretty, and especially if you like working with water, or you're mesmerized by water like I am, this can be very relaxing. Oh, I just painted over the tooth. Oops. But it's not too bad. Not too bad yet. And to dull that a little bit. Bluey blue. There we are. Okay, a bit more. There, I just made one of those cardinal errors, but we'll just call it a happy accident in paint mixing. But that's alright, because it's just the initial wash and it's looking really nice. So I like the streaky there that we're getting. going into Ivysaur's blue. I'm going to not do the green just yet, but we'll do the pink. So Ivysaur can, or Bulbasaur can evolve into Ivysaur from level 16. And that'll be his generation 2, generation 1 first evolve. That's right. Alright, nice pinky, rosy pink. Let's see. How rosy pink can I make this? Hopefully enough that I will have enough room on my palette. Okay. There, that's a bit milky. Just going to make it a bit rosier. A bit rosier. There we are. It's still pretty milky. Not quite happy with that, but that'll do. It'll be nice when it dries. It's going to go all over the bud with this nice pink color. I like to start my washes with very light colors and then put the dark colors on later. Right now I'm just going to drop in some pink in the dark spots. Some darker shades of hot pink for the shady areas of the flower. There. And a little bit more right here. Just have to watch how it spreads. Right, now I'm going to do Ivysaur's eyes. They're still red. Okay, making some red, very red eyes. Sort of a dark red. And I think his pupils are a bit black. Venusaur. And it kind of reminds me of the Thundercats song of the Petalars. They're leaf people, and they're little mini people. They live in the forest, and when they die, they actually become part of the forest. They turn into leaves that float away in a big song and ceremony. It's kind of sad, but also very touching. But we're talking about Pokemon here and not the Thundercats, so we're going to talk about the evolve of Ivysaur, the second evolve of Bulbasaur, Venusaur. This evolve can have several different forms. The one I painted here is the Max or Mega Evolve, not the Gigantamax. This one's the Mega Venusaur. I'm trying to be careful about his face. It's always tricky to do around his mouth. So the Mega Venusaur has a pink flower on his head, and he's on the card packet for the leaf green Pokemon cards. And for him, I'm going to do a very gray-blue, kind of an Air Force blue, but when I was painting belted kingfishers, I kind of had trouble making a really good Air Force blue, but I'm going to attempt it now. I think that's pretty good. Alright, let's try that. That's kind of nice. I like that. Alright. So again, I've gone over his tooth, but I'll fix that later. Get all of the face there. And I went over his eye. Try not to do that too much. There. And the rest of the blue. There. And then we can go back to the flowers, or the plant part of Ivysaur. Venusaur with this giant flower on his back looks like he would be a really good companion for Torterra. I haven't done their spots like I did with Bulbasaur, so I should probably think about those spots. Now, all these beautiful blues, I'm going to use sort of another dull greeny blue for Ivysaur's spots. And I'm mixing a little bit of this kingfisher blue with so I'm going to make sure I haven't oversaturated the brush as well. That's nice color for spots on an Ivysaur. Very nice there. And this paper has dried, not completely, but enough that it's not going to bleed too much like it did when I tried the spots on the Bulbasaur. I kind of jumped the gun there, I was a bit impatient. There. And the ear is going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to try and make a dark shade of this and use that for the ear. See how that washes, it's very nice. And now I can go and put some blue shading in to the Ivysaur. I'm going to leave the Bulbasaur like that because I like the effect. Alright, I've got a nice color I like here. Just want to make sure it's just a little wet. Have to get it perfect. Okay, just put a little bit there, a little bit there, shading him in. And that's going to blend in a little bit. And I'll dry brush that like that. There, that's really nice. So there's a little bit of shade on the Bulbasaur or the Ivysaur, and fix the tooth by just delineating it a bit, giving a little bit of shade under his mouth. And his little eyebrows there. He's a bit of a fierce creature. He's ready to fight. There we are. So I'm really hoping this video works this time with no mouse raspberries. So I think I'd like to do some more pink. So let's paint Venusaur's flower. This one is a bit weird as flowers go, and I had a hard time drawing this. I was kind of trying to trace out the lines, and it's kind of a tree. I know all of you Pokemon fans are probably laughing at me, but I'll try do the best I can here. There's a pink flower. And I was very, very glad to get the thousand subscriptions to the channel. Thank you again, everyone who's subscribed and everyone who's watching. If you do enjoy this, click the subscribe button, click the like, and if you don't, then you won't get to see all these nice things that I make for you. I so enjoy making these relaxing videos for you, and I hope you enjoy them too, if you enjoy watching them. But I think I'll just cry, if you go away without subscribing. But I do listen to all of your comments. I read everything, and I really appreciate every comment that's made on this channel. It's a real pleasure to get these. And to know what it is you're thinking, what you like. It's really nice to have a community, be part of that. So yeah, thanks for that. And I think we've come just about. Not sure where I'm going with this shading. It's a bit erratic, but that's okay because it's just the initial wash. The hard part of this one, I think, is the tree trunk. I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm going to do that nice little goldy crown. And I think I would have done that lighter, but I'll go over that again after it dries. And we've got the pink head flower. So try and stay away from the blue. You see how the water just picks it up, even if I haven't pre-wet the paper. Wherever I have painted, the water just picks it right up. So it's, I love that. That's why I like working with the hot pressed paper. Even though some people think it's a bit unorthodox, but you know, I quite like it. That pink is so dark. There. I think I'll pick some of that up. There we go. Like that. A little bit dark there, 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 and we'll just put one in the middle. The Megasaur has a kind of a purple gum line by his teeth. So I'm going to try and put that in now so it will dry when I put in his pink tongue. See, I already colored the teeth, which I didn't mean to do. And there's his gum line. And next to that, I'm going to try and make sure his lip is still visible. But wet there and there. And his spots. Nice spot there and there and there. And unlike the Ivysaur, he doesn't have black pupils in his eyes. He just have this little sort of red irises there. And I'm going to darken his eyelids, even though I don't think they're much darker than the creature himself. Gives it a little bit of shade there. Just around the ear. Very cute, cute creatures. And his ear is sort of a very dark, pinky orange. Sort of like that. There we go. And I'm going to attempt now to do his tongue, and that's where I don't mind that milky pink. And then I'll come back later and delineate his upper lip with first wash of these Pokemon: Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. We'll do a little bit more here with the green before I let this dry for about a day. But since this video is going up tomorrow, I won't be able to finish it on the video. Unfortunately, the one I did finish for you was full of mouse raspberries. I won't make that noise for you now, but I'll let you imagine what it sounded like. It was quite embarrassing. It was like having a peanut gallery judging my performance. If you like to make mouse raspberry noises, please do, and let me know in the comments. In the meantime, we'll just give a green wash to these leaves on Ivysaur so that I can come back and finish them at a later time. If you enjoy watching me paint, first of all, I'm flattered. You can watch my Kingfisher video. That was lots of fun to make and has the French Whisperer in it. It's on, should come up. I'm hoping the card will come up there, the top of the screen. If not, it's the featured video on the channel at the moment, and you can easily find it on my channel under Kingfishers. If you do enjoy this, I can put more videos of me just painting with no talking as well, because I was practicing a lot for the Kingfisher video so that I could get a Kingfisher done for you in the short amount of time that the video took. So I filmed myself practicing as well. Look, I've just made another classic newbie error mixing my paints, but it looks good anyway, doesn't it? It looks great. Yeah, it does. It does. And this one, a little bit darker. There we are. One more green before we go. I'm going to do Venusaur's plants, hopefully without getting into the other colors that are still wet on this page. So I'm just going to do the ones on top that are very light color first. And already got some green in the brush, you can see, which is quite nice. Just put a little bit more. So I want lots of different shades of green for the Venusaur because his plant is so large. He reminds me of those dinosaur jungles that you used to see in children's books, where the plants would look really odd because they were prehistoric plants, and I'm sure that's the kind of plant that's growing on Venusaur's back. There we are. finish these up, I will post a picture on the new community tab. So I'm interested to hear what you think about Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, or anything else on the community chat. Have a really good day, a relaxing evening, and a peaceful night. Be good to yourself.